What's up, everybody? I'm the BurningSkyCloud, and welcome back to Angels with Scaly Wings. So, last episode, we wound up meeting the mysterious administrator. No, I gotta say it with more gusto. The administrator. Anyway, so apparently, if I remember correctly, we're 65 million years into the past with the comet coming. So he's busy trying to save the world, where Reza's trying to. Well, hang on. I think Reza met with him. He had to, because why else would he be collecting all these generators? However, Reza's doing it is he's going about it the wrong way. That explains why he said that he didn't want to be here when bad stuff would happen. But anyway, we're here and we're going to continue. Uh, we're gonna see about how we can save this world. Seems there's nothing for me to do this morning. I guess they don't need me at the police department. Not that I mind. I'm gonna meet with Adine. I'm gonna spend every waking minute with her. Here we are again. Here we are again. Meeting our girl Adine. Just a minute. I hope I didn't forget anything. You said something about going to the beach. Yep. Oh, guess who got her entry confirmation for the stunt flying competition? You did? That's right. I've got it right here in black and white. We are happy to confirm your entry into the annual stunt flying competition. Please have your competitor number ready and show up at the organizer's booth at the summer festival by... Well, who cares about the rest? I'm in. That's great. Yeah, but the festival is pretty soon. I have to make the most of the time until then to get my skills up to par. I thought you already had years of experience. Yeah, but now I have to practice the best routine I can possibly come up with. Not to mention making sure I can execute it flawlessly when the time comes. Practicing in general is very different than practicing for an event like this one. I see. Are you ready to see some stunt flying? Sure. Let's go then. Yo, beach date! So this is where you usually practice. I practice just about anywhere, but today's a nice day for a beach visit. Water and sand are also good surfaces to practice complicated maneuvers on, in case you can't make the landing. Makes sense. Well, don't let me hold you up. Oh, I can't just start practicing right now. I'm so giddy with excitement from getting that letter earlier. Besides, I wanted to hang out with you while we're here as well. Sounds good to me. Do you visit the beach often? Not really. Except for practice, that is. It does make for a nice backdrop while I fly through it, though. I see. Did you ever go to the beach? No. It's not something that was possible for me to the last couple of years, but it certainly used to be something other people would do. I see. Sunning yourself can be nice sometimes, but I'm not really a fan of going swimming. There is so much more you can do at the beach, though. Like what? You already mentioned sunning. Do you ever get a tan? What's that? I guess that's a no then. To be fair, you are completely covered in scales, so I imagine you wouldn't be affected. Tanning is a reaction of the skin when it's exposed to sunlight. If humans stay in the sun for a while, our skin can get darker. How strange. Once you go dark, there's no... wait, dark... Bark, hark, fark, gark, hark, lark, dark, sark, wark, gark, sark, bark. I can't find a good one. Once you go dark, there's no going. Uh, York? I don't know. And if we are exposed to it for too long, we can even get what is called a sunburn. And what's that? Well, the skin can take on a reddish tint. It can also be painful and cause dizziness. So you have to be careful not to stay in the sun for too long? Pretty much, though that isn't necessarily true for all of us. Depending on the skin tone, people can be more or less affected by the radiation. Speaking as someone who easily gets sunburned. Yeah. I see. That sounds kinda complicated. We are a complicated species. Does that mean we shouldn't stay here for too long? I'll just have to be careful. I see. Just let me know if I need to do anything. Sure. Will do. You said you don't like swimming all that much. Why is that? Well, as you can imagine, I prefer the air to the sea, even though we flyers have quite a relationship with the water. What kind of relationship are we talking about? We use it to hunt. I see. So you go fishing, but can't swim all that well. Pretty much. We can do enough to safely hunt and paddle on the surface, but that's about it. If we actually want to go swimming, it's recommended we wear a life vest. Is it that bad? Our wings are made for flying, not swimming. The movements and musculature are rather different. With some training, we can learn to swim better, but it still wouldn't really be effective. I see. And besides, who would choose to learn to swim if we already have the air to ourselves? That is a fair point. Flying is just your thing, I guess. Pretty much. You made it sound as if beaches are a pretty important thing for humans. In some respect, yeah, it's a good vacation spot. I wouldn't say important. Rather, it's a unique way for people to spend time. It was often done as a leisure activity or a way to spend holiday vacations. As I've just stated. That sounds pretty important to me. What else did you do at the beach? Let me think. I got an idea and started looking for something in the sand on the ground. With a bit of digging, I found a flat, smooth stone and showed it to her. Do you have any idea what I'm going to do with this? Not really. Let me show you something. I went to the edge of the water, followed closely by Adine. Now, watch this. I extended my arm with the best technique I could muster before I threw the stone towards the water. Spinning in the air, the stone bounced on the water's surface a few times before it sunk into the sea. What was that? Stone skipping. Never heard of it? No. How'd you do that? I can show you. I looked around for another suitable stone and soon found one near the edge of the water. Let's start with the stone. Ideally, we want one that has a big surface area, but is as flat as possible. Got it. This one is also really smooth, which helps too. Okay, so we need smooth, flat stones. Now, the technique is also pretty important. I'm not sure how well this will translate to your anatomy, but I'll just show you how I do it, and then we can figure out what you can do. Okay. Hold the stone like this, extend your arm, and curl it like this. Then, you have to throw it in such a way that it stays relatively stable in the air, but spins as fast as you can make it, which I suppose is the best explanation to give. Considering how, it can be rather difficult to explain how to stone skip. I do it like this. I threw the stone, once again showing her how it subsequently bounced a few times over the water's surface before it sunk into the sea. I'm not sure if I can do it. If I can do that. We'll see. Maybe we can figure something out. Let's look for a stone first. Okay. We both started looking for another appropriate stone. I saw Adine scratching around the sand with one of her feet. She crouched down to pick something up before she returned to me. Here, what about this one? That should work. See? You've already got that part down. I guess so. Okay, now for the technique. She was holding the stone in the claws at the edge of her wing. I tried to guide her by pulling her wing back, like I would an arm, but it became clear to me that it lacked a lot of maneuverability an arm would have. For the throw, you'll want to move your wing forward as fast as you can, and at the very end of the extension, let go of the stone. I'll try. I could see her moving her wing awkwardly. She pushed it forward before releasing the stone, which sunk without bouncing a single time. That didn't work. Yeah, there wasn't really enough spin on it. Let me try again. Alright. I waded a few steps into the water to retrieve the stone she had thrown only moments ago. Here you go. I'll try something different this time. Feel free. Instead of using her wing, she took the stone into the dexterous claws on one of her feet as she continued to stand on the other leg. Effortlessly, she pulled her leg back before rapidly moving it forward and releasing the stone. It flew in a bit of an upward arch before it bounced off the water's surface once and subsequently sunk into the ocean's water. Nice! Not bad, huh? I had no idea you could do that with your leg. No wonder they call it leg skipping. Actually, our legs aren't what we mainly use to grab things. It only gets complicated if I'm supposed to be moving at the same time, like when I'm waiting in the cafe. Interesting. I suppose for someone who's hunting while flying, that's pretty much a requirement. It is. Actually, if I'm at home and eating chips or something, I usually use my feet as well. It's kind of nasty if you think about it, but if it works for dragons, it works. I never really tried eating something with my feet. I wish I could do that with my feet. Oh, really? Yeah, some monkeys actually can. They basically have hands instead of feet. So they have 4 hands. Yep. That seems like it'd be handy, but I think I like my wings better. That was a neat trick, though. So what else can you do at the beach? I don't know. Build sandcastles? I haven't done that in like 2 decades. I tried to imagine what Adine building a sandcastle would look like. Based on what I knew now, she probably wouldn't be using her wings. Would you believe me if I told you you'd be used to have contests for building sandcastles back home? Really? Yeah, people would build huge, detailed sculptures that would be taller than both of us, just with sand. Oh wow, that sounds hard though. You could try if you like. I'm not sure I have the patience for that. To me, it seems a bit of a shame to build big, elaborate sculptures out of something like sand that clearly won't last. Ran out of breath there. I mean, if you're going to spend so much time on it, why not create something that will stay? That's actually the point of those contests. Oh, really? Yes, people demonstrate their skill in creating these sculptures, and by using something like sand, they prove that it doesn't matter if the sculpture gets destroyed in the end, because they can just do it again if they like. I see. That's pretty interesting. Actually, it's not unlike your stunt flying competition. How so? Well, during your competition, nothing lasting is created from the performance itself. It's all about the experience and memories. You have to prove that you were skilled enough to do these stunts right at that very moment just for the competition. That is true. It's kind of like the air shows in Legends of Equestria. You know, it's not really much of a contest as it is performing a skill that you practice on that people will remember for a lot for their lifetime. or skilled performance, rather. Everything that goes into performing for an air show takes time, practice, and in the end, the result is phenomenal. That's a good point. I'm in the mood for a snack. Should I get something for you as well? Yes, please. Alright. Because really, when do we ever eat? You can watch me if you like. Maybe you can learn a thing or two from it. You want to teach me how to fish? Sure, since you taught me the... what was it called again? Stone skipping. Right, since you taught me the stone skipping, I can show you how to fish. Okay. We actually have two very different ways of doing it. There is hunting and angling. Personally, I prefer hunting though. I can see why. Let me demonstrate. She took a few steps back, then started running towards the edge of the sea. Rapidly flapping her wings, she jumped into the air at the last second, taking off and flying around the area. I could see her staring at the sea intently, circling a few times before descending towards the water surface, claws extended. When she got close enough, her claws suddenly sunk into the water, only to reappear with a fish in their grasp. Afterwards, she returned and landed near me. Oh, I love the goggles! Did you see that? Yeah, but I think my distinct lack of wings would probably prevent me from doing the same thing. You don't have to do exactly the same thing. In the end, I'm just grabbing them right out of the sea. You could do that. I'm not so sure about that. I bet it's a lot easier with your claws. Fish can be pretty slippery. I guess you have a point. Well, there's still the other method. Angling. Yep, angling. See my tail? She showed me her tail. At its end, there was a fork in it. With its distinct shape, size, and color, it reminded me a lot of a banana. What about it? This is the bait. She sat down near the edge of the water, letting her tail hang down into it. Okay, so it's just like fishing. This can take a while sometimes, but there are techniques which can speed up the process. The right amount of movement attracts different kinds of fish. That way, we can even choose what we're going to get. Yo, that's actually really clever. I wouldn't mind, getting the right kind of fish, or a lobster, or a crab. Seafood is amazing. Never really had pearl oysters before, though. I don't know if I'd want to, considering my grandmother was allergic to oysters and shellfish. That's gonna be a bit tricky. And that works? Yeah, not all the time, but often enough. Speaking of food allergies, I remember this one time I was working at a grocery store in the past, and they would have like these little safety pops that for customers that they could just grab and go after checking out. I remember having one, and like maybe a day later, my lips kind of swelled up. So apparently, I'm allergic to that kind of dye. But I don't know. It's been a while, so I'd have to see if I am. Interesting. There are even groups that exchange tips and such for angling this way. Suddenly, I saw her whip her tail upwards, which caused a fish to be launched towards the beach where it landed on the ground with an audible thud. There you go. That didn't take too long. It can be very hit and miss. I just got lucky this time, and it's not even the kind of fish I really wanted. I guess that's why you prefer hunting. Yep, and you also don't get the nibble scores on your tail where the fish bite you. That's kind of adorbs, honestly. I see. Though, I suppose angling is also going to be hard for you without a forked tail like we have. Actually, we have fishing rods for that where I come from. What's that? The principle is very similar. Basically, it's a long stick that we hold over the water. A line connected to it has a bait and hook at the end to catch the fish. When the fish bites the hook, we can reel in the line to get the fish to us. So you are using a tool to do a very similar thing. Basically, yes. Sometimes we also use fishing nets. We also fish using nets. Oh, some of us do that as well. Not my kind, but usually it's those who either work for a fishing company or sell seafood on the market. I imagine someone like you doesn't have to buy their fish on the market, though. True, but sometimes it's easier to just get them there to get what I want to, instead of coming all the way here. I see. Speaking of which, let me get a few more for later. Feel free. Once more, Adine took to the sky to hunt for fish. While it was interesting to watch her for a bit, she kept hunting for a while, and I started passing the time by collecting some seashells. Phew, that shouldn't last me for a while. Oh, what are those? Seashells? They're for you. For me? What for? Well, you could decorate your apartment with them or something. I see. Maybe I should ask you to clarify this, but does this have any particular significance for humans? Not really. It's just a gift. Oh, okay. Well, thank you, Scaly. All that hunting was a good warm-up. I feel about ready to start with the practice now. Go ahead. I'll watch from here. Actually, now that I'll be part of an official competition, I need a fancy stage name. Do you have something in mind? Not really. Have you got any ideas? Lightning Ewing. A stage name. Custom. Let me think. How about enter a stage name for Adine? Lightning. Lightning Hawk. Oh. You know, what would be a good name in this situation? Let me see. I need an idea. Give me a minute here. Flame Blazer. Really? It won't let me do that? Flame Blaze. Flame Blaze. Flame Blaze? Are you sure? Yes. That sounds alright. Do you mind if I go with that? Not at all. Flame Blaze it is then. Alright. Are you ready to see some aerobatics? I certainly hope so. I'll start off with a few easy moves. The stage is yours, Flame Blaze. Thanks. I wanted to be Flame Blazer, but surprisingly, there's a limit on the words. Effortlessly, she took to the skies. circling around the area a few times before she started to do a few maneuvers. Dang, that's amazing. A roll, followed by a loop, after which she did another roll. It seemed to be less of a practice routine and more of a warm-up to me. Gradually, her new maneuvers got more complicated. I saw circles that got smaller and smaller, a brief nosedive, and multiple loops and rolls one after another. Then, she landed and returned to me. What do you think? That was great. You haven't even seen the best part yet. What would that be? My very own Adine special, or rather, Flame Blaze's special. It's a routine I came up with and I've been practicing for a while. It's pretty difficult, so I'll probably spend the rest of my time until the competition perfecting it as much as possible. What does it look like? It starts off with circles near the ground. Then, as I ascend, the circles get smaller and smaller. Once I reach the highest point, I go into a nosedive through the middle of the circles. Alright, I'm seeing it. I'm imagining it. At the show, I'll use a smoke trail when doing the circles, so everyone can actually see me going through the circles I made. That sounds pretty cool. That's not all of it. While nosediving, I'll do a few rolls, and just before I hit the ground, I'll pull up again. Lastly, I'll end with a few loops and go to the next maneuver. It all ends up making a neat shape in the sky with the smoke trails. Sounds like you've got it all figured out already. Yeah, now I only have to perfect my execution of it. Don't let me hold you up. Alright, here we go. With determination in her eyes, she took to the skies once more. When she reached a certain height, she slowly descended again until she was close to the water's surface. Then, she started making her circles, slowly ascending as the circles gradually got smaller and smaller. Once her circles became as small as possible, she suddenly turned herself around and went into a nosedive. Her speed quickly increased while she moved towards the water. Then, she did a roll, and another, followed by the third. Dangerously close to the water's surface, she suddenly pulled up, but as she did so, one of her feet went below the surface, where it apparently caught onto something, causing her to spin out of control. I saw her feeble attempt to regain control as she barely managed to steady herself enough to get back to the beach. She made a rough landing, rolling on the ground a few times after colliding with the sand. Adine, are you alright? Well, that wasn't supposed to happen. It looked pretty impressive until the landing. Ouch! My wing hurts. Let me take a look. Can you move it? A bit, but it really starts to hurt if I go further than this. At least it doesn't seem to be broken. Yeah, I guess it's a sprain. Happens all the time. Really? Well, not all the time, but it happens. What about the competition? The injury is going to put a serious damper on my practice schedule, but I'm not giving up anytime soon. I guess practice is over for today, at the very least. Yeah, let's head back. I should have some bandages in the cabinet over there. You know, this actually kind of makes me think of Uma Musume, where where the Uma can get a fracture with all the running that they do. It sucks, but, you know, it happens, and then they had to spend months healing. I'll get them for you. What now? Would you do me the honors? Of course. Where should I start? I think it's this joint right here. Yep. Yep. Definitely. Alright, okay. Let me try to get this right. Here. That should do it. How does it feel? Much better. Maybe with this, I can even start practicing again in a day or two. Just be safe. Of course. Well, thanks for the help with the bandage. And sorry about cutting practice short today. I guess you didn't get to see any proper aerobatics after all. It's no big deal. Your health is more important. Thanks for coming, at any rate. You're welcome. I guess I'll leave you to recuperate now, and maybe I'll see you next time. Sure thing. Bye. This was a great day with Adine. Another free day. Yay me. Well, I already met with Adine, so... Let me meet with Bryce. Let me see what he's got going on. Once again, I found myself within the police department, which seemed awfully quiet for this time of day. It didn't take me long to spot Bryce in his office. Hey, Sky. What's up? Nothing much, but you told me to contact you if I could remember anything that might help with the investigation. Oh, right! We should probably inform him of meeting the administrator. No, I mean, the administrator! That's right. What do you have for me? I'm not sure if it's worth mentioning, but I have known Reza for a couple of years, so I know some things about his personality. I see. Well, that's actually more helpful than you might think. Mannerisms, habits, all kinds of things would be useful to add to his profile and to get a better idea of him. You know, I'm just about done here for the day, but if you want to discuss it over a beer or something, I'd be more than happy. I don't usually drink, though. That's fine. You don't have to. Or maybe we'll find something you'll like. That sounds fair. Alright, let's go. After all, you also get to learn a little bit about me. Here we are. And just in time for happy hour. Do you come here often? Sometimes. Hey, you two. What can I bring you? Just the usual. One generic beer for the chief of police. Sure thing. How about you, Skoy? Nothing yet. I'll have something later, I think. Noted. I'll be right back. It wasn't long before the waiter returned with a drinking bowl as wide as it was tall, filled to the brim with a foam-topped, dark amber liquid. Carefully, he set it down in front of Bryce, who didn't hesitate to take a big gulp. There you go. Just call me if you need anything. Of course. So, what is it you wanted to tell me about Reza? There are a few things. I mean, they're probably not much, but anything might help, right? That's right. Anything unusual about him. Anything that defines his character or stands out about him could help us. How about you tell me what you know about him? Well, the earliest memory I have of him was when we both went to the same school. We only shared a few classes, though, and a couple of friends. Overall, I'd say he was an above-average student. We didn't talk very often, but he always was very outspoken and never failed to speak up to make his opinions known. He was the kind of person I'd fully expect to become a politician one day, or at least an activist of some sort. That's the impression I got from him. He spoke a lot, but you could also expect him to act on his word. Of course, his nature caused him to clash with others, sometimes even including the school staff, though his genuine enthusiasm also garnered praise from them. He was quite a character. After we all graduated, I didn't hear anything about him for a long time. Only some years later, after we found the portal, was I surprised to find out he was the human who would be sent to your world. He had volunteered. It wasn't until I was already here that I actually met him again, however brief our interactions were. But then I already told you everything about what had happened prior to the eventual scuffle with Maverick. There's only one thing that stands out to me about those events. In the restaurant, when he told me about the letter, he mentioned I would know how to read its secret message. I know he values the use of his own intellect, but when I received the letter later, he apparently fully expected me to remember a random chemistry class we had together years ago in order to see the message. I see. So you did not arrange this beforehand? Not at all. I had no idea. That is quite peculiar. I know. I still wonder what he would have told me if Maverick hadn't interfered when we met at the portal, but we kind of figured that out. We do. We do as well. And you can believe that. You know, I'm starting to think that my first interaction with Bryce here is set before the events of the administrator, which is probably also the same thing with Remy and Anna, with him not knowing about Anna's death. How is Maverick even allowed to intercept his letter and read it? He could have easily done so since he was in charge of Reza and everything, but he totally shouldn't have. I mean, we wouldn't do anything of the sort with you. Everything he has done in regard to Reza has been a poor show of character. I suppose so. In any case, thanks for telling me all this. You never know when this kind of information could be useful. No problem. Just when I thought an awkward silence might set in, Bryce spotted the waiter and didn't hesitate to speak up. Hey waiter, bring me another. I hadn't noticed, but while I was talking, Bryce had been busy sipping on his drink. The empty bowl before him was proof of his proficiency. Here you go. Maybe I should be going now. Oh, come on and stay a little. Considering we're here already, might as well enjoy the evening, right? I mean, you don't have to, but I certainly will. Where do you need to be somewhere? Not really. I guess I can stay for a little while. That's what I like to hear. Waiter, bring us another beer. Another one? This one's for you, silly. I don't really drink, though. Oh, come on. Just try a little. Even if you don't like beer, you haven't had one like this before. I'll try it just for you. You'll do yourself a favor. You know what? Why don't we have ourselves a drinking contest? I would, but I don't think I can beat someone like you. How about a handicap then? I'll go easy on you. You're not letting this go, are you? Just having fun. Alright, let's do this. Bryce lowered his snout and gulped down beer at an inhumane rate. The bowl drained rapidly and was empty in an instant. Fair's fair. Considering they don't even have cars, at least I won't have to worry about drinking and driving. The rules are simple. We both get around, then we wait for a few moments until the next one so the effects can kick in. Whoever gives up first loses. And that sounds easy enough. Sure, just wait until you have a swig of the real stuff, and we'll see how easy it is for you. Alright, let's do this. He made a show of looking me in the eyes while he lowered his muzzle into the bowl before he started guzzling his drink noisily. It was gone in seconds. Certainly, this was going to be tough. My confidence faltered, but there was no turning back now. How did I think I could win in a drinking contest against a freaking dragon? Yeah. Well, then again, Bryce is the kind of guy who won't give who won't give up on such a matter. Nevertheless, I grasped the drink, putting on the best show I could while I tried to recreate Bryce's feat. After the first sip, however, I realized it was very different from any other beer I had tried before. Yet, I persevered through the intense taste until the glass was empty. I probably wasn't as impressed as Bryce had been just moments earlier, but I couldn't afford to show any weaknesses. My plan was cut short, though, As I set down the glass, an unusually strong aftertaste hit me, causing me to make a face. How'd you like it? Ugh, this is some really strong stuff. I told you. You better know what. You better know beforehand how much you can take, or it will hit you harder later on. When I give up already? Uh, yeah, I'm gonna give up. Yeah, I can't stand another drink of this. You win. You can't be serious. You give up already? That's not even a competition. It's laughable. Laugh all you want. I don't care. If you can't take it, just get out. And get out I did. Oh, damn. There's no point in staying if the only thing he planned to do was taunt me over his victory, even though it didn't look like he enjoyed it much. I played a silly game, and somehow he still wasn't happy about it. Guess he could play it without me in the future. Well, shit. That did not go as I expected it to. Well, I made poor life choices with Bryce. I should have just gone with Remy. But anywho, I'm gonna leave this episode here. Chapter 5, the conflict begins. So, what is going to happen here? How is it going to fit all end? I feel like it's coming to a head. It's about to get really crazy, I bet. But anywho, thank you everybody so much for watching. If you enjoyed this episode, please like, comment, and share, and don't forget to subscribe to see more in the future. I'll catch you later.